Isabella. Chapter 25. In the shadow of the Reaper. Wrapped in the cloak of my grief, I greeted each new dawn with a resolve forged from the memory of Elias. The Shade Reaper, a name born from whispers and fear, continued to cast his shadow, his path marked by the sorrow of his victims and the enigmatic symbols that were his grim signature. These symbols, intricate and arcane, were a language of the darker corners of the supernatural world, blurring the lines between ritual and rampage. It was within these cruel hieroglyphs that I sought the key to the Shade Reaper's undoing. Each crime scene became my crucible, the silent screams of the victims echoing as unwelcome companions in my quest to unravel the web the Reaper had woven. The symbols were a puzzle meant for me, each carving a piece that, when placed correctly, would reveal the full scope of the Reaper's design. My journey plunged me into the depths of ancient lore and forbidden knowledge. I consulted with occultists, deciphered grimoires that spoke of power and peril, and walked the thin line between my world and the next. Gradually, the symbols began to yield their secrets. One a mark of power siphoning, another a sigil of binding, and yet another a rune of summoning. With each symbol decoded, the image of the killer crystallized in my mind, a being not just of malice, but of meticulous method. The Shade Reaper was orchestrating a tapestry of rituals through his axe, each murder a stanza in a symphony of shadow magic that was building towards a crescendo of untold power. As the pattern emerged, I found myself inevitably drawn closer to a confrontation with the Shade Reaper. I moved through the night with silent grace, my senses attuned to the whispers of the unseen. My search was for justice and vengeance, a tribute to the fallen and a reckoning for the one who had taken Elias from me. The chase became a game of cat and mouse, played out in the alleys and back streets of a town haunted by the specter of the Reaper. I was relentless, my determination a beacon cutting through the darkness, my intellect a weapon sharpened by the stone of my sorrow. When I finally came face to face with the Shade Reaper, it felt like destiny had orchestrated our meeting. The confrontation was a dance of death and revelation, each movement a strike, each parry a glimpse into the soul. In the heart of the struggle, as steel met shadow, my quest for the truth reached its zenith. The symbols, the murders, the pain, it all converged into a single moment of clarity. The Shade Reaper, his motives now exposed, faced not just the wrath of a vampire, but the fury of a woman who had lost everything to his hand. Emerging from the valley of the shadow of death, I carried not just the sorrow of my loss, but the certainty that the night would no longer be held hostage by the terror of the Shade Reaper. I had deciphered the meaning, unraveled the plot, and avenged those who had fallen. The night, once again, belonged to the silence and the stars.